Everyone remembers the day their life changed. But for her, that day was the day she lost her father. His breathing was shallow, his hands cold. And in that tiny village, miles away from the nearest hospital, a little girl stood helpless, watching the man she loved most slip away. She ran for help. She screamed for anyone, but no doctor. No ambulance. No treatment ever arrived. That day, as the sun set behind the dusty fields, a part of her childhood died with him. But something else was born too. A fire. A promise. A dream that one day, no other family would suffer the way hers did. This is the story of Melissa, the girl who lost her father and became the doctor her village never had. Melissa was only 8, too young to understand death, but old enough to remember the silence that followed. Her mother held her close that night, whispering, "Allah knows best. Stay strong, my child." But Melissa's tiny heart had already made a decision. A promise formed in the dark. One day, I will become a doctor. No father, no mother, no child will suffer the way we did. From that day forward, school wasn't just a place to learn. It was her battlefield. Every book she opened was a step toward healing the wound inside her. But dreams, especially big ones, come with a price. Melissa studied under flickering candles. Because electricity rarely visited her village, she walked miles to school barefoot, carrying secondhand books tied with string. People often laughed. Doctor from this village? Impossible. But she never argued. She simply studied harder, and every night before sleeping, she whispered the same prayer, Ya Allah, give me strength, not for myself, but for my village. Years passed. Melissa grew not just in age, but in determination. Her teachers began noticing. Her scores began rising. Her village began believing. Then one day, a letter arrived. Melissa had won a full scholarship to medical school. Her mother cried with pride. The villagers gathered outside her home, cheering her name as if she were their own daughter. And in that moment, Melissa realized this dream was no longer hers alone. It belonged to every person in that village who had lived without health care for generations. Medical school was nothing like the village. Tall buildings, advanced labs, students with expensive gadgets and polished English. Melissa felt small, but not for long. She studied harder than anyone. She volunteered at hospitals. She stayed late to learn from senior doctors. Every patient reminded her of her father. Every emergency strengthened her mission. People admired her. Professors respected her. But Melissa stayed humble because she wasn't studying for fame. She was studying for them, the people back home still waiting for a doctor. On the day she received her degree, Melissa didn't smile for the cameras. She looked at the sky and whispered, "Dade, I did it." But she wasn't done yet. Most graduates chose big hospitals, high salaries, comfortable cities. Melissa chose none of that. She packed her bags and returned to the same dusty road, the same little houses, the same village that once felt forgotten. When she arrived, the villagers ran toward her with joy, but they were confused when they saw the truck behind her, because inside it were hospital beds, medicine boxes, equipment she had gathered through donations and charity. Melissa didn't just come back as a doctor. She came back with a mission, and within months, where once stood an empty field, now stood the first hospital the village had ever seen, a place of hope, a place of healing. A place built from love, loss, and unbreakable faith. Mothers brought their sick children. Elders came for checkups. Women who once feared childbirth now felt safe delivering their babies. People whispered her name with respect. Dr. Melissa, the blessing of our village. And one evening, a little girl walked into the hospital, crying, scared, just like Melissa once was. Melissa bent down, held her hand, and said gently, "You're safe now, sweetheart. Your doctor is here." And in that moment, Melissa felt her father's presence, not in sadness, but in peace. Melissa didn't just save lives. She revived a village. She turned her pain into purpose, her loss into hope, her childhood tragedy into a lifetime of healing. And today, people don't just call her a doctor. They call her the voice behind their success, the heart behind their healing, and the daughter who changed everything.